How's it going, everybody? It's Doc. Plan B says Bitcoin can hit 500,000 this cycle and even $150,000 in February. Plus, we're going to look at a brand new chart that I've never talked about on this channel. But before we get started, welcome back to the channel. For those that are new here, my name's Doc. I'm a resident physician by day, and at night, I take you on my investing in crypto journey. If you guys don't mind, please consider hitting the like button and subscribe, as it really does help out. And this is actually my third video that I'm filming today. I didn't plan on filming this one, but just the news kept coming in, and I thought I wanted to share this with you guys as fast as I can so you guys are informed. So maybe, just maybe, that's worth a like or a follow. Guys, let's get in and talk about it real quick. We're just going to look at Bitcoin. All day, we've kind of been floating around this 94 mark, and my screen's just jumping all over the place. This 94 mark, we're finding some really nice resistance. We keep bouncing off this, and I really think we are setting up for a big breakout, kind of like we did here. Now, obviously, this is an extended version of this channel, but for these couple months, we were just bouncing back and forth, and then we had this huge move up from the 50s all the way up to $108,000. I suspect right now we're bouncing off this trend line in anticipation for President-elect Trump to be inaugurated on January 20th. That's literally less than 3 weeks away. I think this is driving some of this positive price action that we've had the past couple days. Okay, so the reason that you're here, Plan B is stating that based off his stock to flow model, we are still on pace to potentially hit $500,000 this cycle. 500 grand. Now, he does give a range, 250 to 1 million this cycle. I don't know about you guys. I would not complain with a $250,000 Bitcoin this cycle. I would be more than happy with that. Personally, I kind of think we're going to top out around 140 or 150 this cycle. Keep in mind, I'm a little bit more conservative in my estimates. I'd rather sell a little bit early and secure my profits than trying to kind of roll the dice and round trip my bags. So this would be awesome, right? He's quoting this chart from a couple days ago, and if you look at this stock to flow model, it's followed it pretty well. It's not perfect, right? These large spikes up are supposed to represent the Bitcoin halvings, and we're actually going to talk about that on a special chart here in just a second. He also goes on to say that, he had a $150,000 price target for December. He acknowledges, hey, we hit 108,000, and 200,000 for January is probably a little unrealistic, he says, but he does think that $150,000 in February is still possible. I personally think that if President Trump announces a strategic Bitcoin reserve on his first couple days in office, we can easily see this $150,000, maybe not even by February, but by January. I'm going to make a video tomorrow on some rumors about this Bitcoin reserve with Scaramucci, former part of President's staff in his prior term. So, okay, this is a chart that I wanted to talk about. This is called the Bitcoin Spiral 4-year cycle. I got inspiration to show you guys this chart from Sam. His YouTube channel is My Financial Friend. I'm going to link him down in the description below because I did draw inspiration off one of his videos today to show you guys this. This is super, super interesting. So let me walk you through this. This is the Bitcoin Spiral 4-year cycle. Each notch here represents an order of magnitude in price. So right, the center dot is $1. We go out a ring, it's $10. Out another ring, 100, and then 1,000, 10,000, 100,000, and 1 million. So each ring out is an order of magnitude higher in price. Okay. One full rotation around this entire circle is 4 years. It's one 4-year cycle as you go all the way around the chart here. So I think that's really important to kind of point out. The other interesting thing here is all of these blue lines, these are the halvings. All of these blue dots, these light blue dots, these are the halvings. And then these red dots, which you can kind of see in the 6 o'clock position, these are all the cycle bottoms. And I think this is really unique to look at the 4-year cycle represented this way, because we see some really interesting patterns, right? A lot of the Bitcoin bottoms have fallen in this 6 o'clock position, okay? All of our halvings have fallen in this upper left position, right? And again, one rotation is 4 years, so one quadrant would be 1 year, right? So think about it like this. If the halvings happen here, we typically get all-time highs 1 year post-halving, right? Because each quadrant is a year. We're saying the blue lines represent the halvings. This is a year, this quadrant. The next quadrant would be a different year. And all these black dots represent prior all-time highs. So let's just kind of go through this, and I think this will make more sense. So Bitcoin starts right here in 2009 or around there, right? We go around, we have a halving, we reach all-time highs in this post-halving year. We go around. Here we're in the 2013 cycle. We reach all-time highs here, then we bottom out. We go around again, right? Around, we have a halving, and then we have all-time highs. Oh, we're down here. We have all-time highs, and then approximately a year later, we have all-time highs again. We go around, we have our bottoming. This is 2018, 2019, 2020. Here's 2021, right? So we have our halving in 2020. That's this blue dot. We come up, it's 2021. We have halvings, or excuse me, all-time highs. And then we reach a second all-time high about a year later. The interesting thing is history doesn't repeat itself, but it often rhymes. And when we're coming into this new cycle, the cyclic view, the 4-year cyclic view, looks like it is holding up true. So I think there's some conclusions that we can draw from this, right? We're coming around. This is 2025, which would make this 2024. This was our halving 2024, spring of 2024, right? So we have our halving. Everybody's super excited about that. I think it was April 20th. And then what do you know? We have our all-time high, but this time it's early, right? You see these black dots? It's earlier than it typically is. Normally it's in this quadrant up here or the post-halving year. Well, here we're showing that we actually broke all-time highs well within the halving year. So let's extrapolate this out a little bit, okay? Let's do a little bit of a thought experiment. If we hit all-time highs earlier in the halving year, would it be unreasonable to say maybe the all-time highs that normally happen towards the end of this quadrant, i.e. the post-halving year, would it be unrealistic if maybe they happened a little bit earlier in this quadrant just because we hit the all-time high here? I don't think that's unreasonable at all. And think about it like this. Typically, you've all heard the summer lull, right? Sell in May and go away. I'm curious if instead of Bitcoin topping out in the fall/winter of the post-halving year, I'm curious if we top out in the spring of the post-halving year, right? Instead of the fall, just because we hit our all-time high earlier this cycle compared to last. I'm not saying take that to the bank. It's just a thought or an outcome that you guys should be prepared for. The way that I interpret that is I'm going to be taking profits a little bit earlier than I had previously thought, right? Normally you think end of the post-halving year. I may be taking my profits earlier in the year, but ultimately what I'm going to be looking at is the Bitcoin dominance. So this is why it's so important to be following a couple different YouTube channels so you can stay up to this. A lot of this is time-sensitive information. I'm going to be following it. Give me a subscribe. I'm going to make sure to keep you guys up to date. Here we're looking at the day chart on dominance. And guess what, guys? It's coming down. Can we get this to break the bull market support band? I've been watching it for quite some time. And guess what? Now we're below it. Could this mean that we're getting set up for altcoin season and we're slightly ahead of schedule? Time will tell. Follow along. I'm going to keep you guys informed. I'm Invest with Doc on Twitter and on YouTube. So this is our third video of the day. We've been busy. There's a lot of great news coming out. There's some hype starting to build. You can kind of feel it in the air with President-elect Trump to be inaugurated in less than 3 weeks. I want to hear from you guys. What do you think? Do you think we're going to top out in the winter or fall of the post-halving euro? Or are you thinking we may top out earlier in the spring? Let me know down below, and I'll see you guys on the next video.